Hello everyone, my name is Muir, and this is Starsector version 0.96a-RC10, and this is the Combined Arms Executor. So, this guy is pretty much the cornerstone of Cruiser Plus, which is essentially the alternative to using the capital ships that we saw previously, specifically the Paragon and the Astral. How this ship works is it has missiles, it has two high intensity beams, it has two graviton beams, it has two ion cannons, it's got some flak, it's got some normal lasers, and it's got some stuff to put some hard flux on the enemy ships. The main thing that it does, though, is you can think about this as two champions in one ship. It's basically what it is. So, what this really translates to is this thing brings the pain a lot more than those champions did. But we do have to use some different ships. So let's see the Fleet Doctrine build there. You would primarily be using for every one of these, you would be using a Drover, a Monitor, and then an Afflictor, just to make these guys as dangerous as possible. So, what's the build? Two high-intensity lasers, two graviton beams, two ion beams, two tactical lasers, three dual flak cannons, three arbalist autocannons just to get some sweet hard flux on there, and then two point defense lasers back here. We have built-in advanced optics, expanded missile racks, and integrated targeting units. After that, we have hardened shields and ECCM packages over here. We have maxed out vents and then maxed out capacitors as high as we can get them. These are the skills I recommend that you use if you don't want to use a redacted ship as basically a free officered ship. Then you can put this point somewhere else. Yeah, put it wherever you would like. But alright, what do our weapon groups look like? Well, this is where things get a little bit interesting, because if we put the high-intensity lasers on their own group, then it will just not use its high-intensity lasers sometimes for some god-awful reason. So we have to do a little bit of finagling here. And that's put a high-intensity laser, a graviton beam, an ion beam, and a tactical laser all on one group. So what is that doing? Half of the ship's lasers are on one group, the other half are on the other group. So it will always be using that at least one high-intensity laser, graviton beam, ion beam, and a tactical laser to shoot something, instead of using these 6, but not these 2. That are the ones that actually do the damage. Go figure. So, the Squalls are on their own weapon group, the Arbalists are on their own weapon group as well, and the Point Defense is on its own weapon group. So this ship does a pretty good job of taking things out, and here is the kind of officer you want to be using. This is the same officer that you would be using for the Champion, the Sunder, and the Wolf if you somehow manage to get a level 6 officer on a Wolf. Probably not, but hey, you know, could happen. But alright, they have helmsmanship, impact mitigation, field modulation, target analysis, and system expertise with missile specialization. The first 3, helmsmanship, impact mitigation, and field modulation, are elite, and missile specialization is elite as well. Now, how do we get up to 4 elite skills? Well, we have this right here. This gives you a maximum of 2 extra elite skills, and then this one here, which gives you an additional elite skill. These elite skills are actually kind of important from getting the most out of any kind of cruiser and capital level ship. If you are just using spammed out capitals without any officers, you're really not getting your money's worth, especially if they are a warship. Now, you will notice that we don't have the D mod that the Executors typically come with. You want to restore to get rid of that, but if you don't, it's not the worst thing in the world. It does make them a little bit cheaper to field, and you may lean really heavy into having masked D mods, but if you do that, you'd want to have this instead. and then probably mix it with not using officers so that this one comes into play and reduces the cost even more. So yeah, they cost 50 points to push out there, and you can reduce the cost by 30, and then an extra 20% here. So you might be looking at half deployment cost. That might cost 25 to 30 to deploy with maxed out with 6 D mods, including the one that's built in, that you can restore off, as well as not having an officer. So that would allow you to have more executors on the field if you wanted to go that route. But alright, that is the build. These guys do really, really well. And, well, just let me know how this works out in your games. Remember, these guys are intended to be used as part of a squad. The Combined Arms Cruiser Plus Fleet Doctrine that will be available later this week once this video drops. But alright, everyone, my name has been Muir. This has been Starsector version 0.96a-RC10, and I will catch you all later. Bye, everyone.